Welcome to our lesson on the home buying process. In this lesson, we're going to go through steps once you receive the ratified contract for your buyer. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that the earnest money deposit is delivered in the timeline agreed on the contract, whether it be the title company, the settlement attorney, or your broker's office, making sure that check is out of your hands as soon as possible. Our lender send a copy of the contract to the lender as soon as possible because the lender is going to actually order the appraisal and they're going to start the loan approval process. So they need to have a copy of that contract. And the same thing with the settlement attorney. You're responsible also to send a copy of the ratified contract to the settlement attorney so they can go ahead and order a title search on the property and order if there is a survey on the property, whatever needs be that the settlement company actually does. And that's another lesson we can actually go over. What does a settlement company do? Property inspection, schedule an inspection, and you want to stay within the timeline on your contingency date in the contract. So just remember that it's so important to keep up with those dates, because if you go past those dates and you don't do what you need to do, like the property inspection, you lose the opportunity for your buyer to have that home inspection. So it's so important for you to keep up with the dates in the contract, the contingency dates. Appraisal. The lender is going to order the appraisal, so they have a copy of the contract. This should be done as soon as possible, and the lender knows that. That's one of the first steps, because that's going to actually be one of your contingencies that you actually have to abide by also in the contract. Insurance. Have your buyer contact insurance agent to get insurance on the home for the lender. So they can call their same company that they have their car insurance with, or maybe shop around a few different insurance companies. But what they need to do is actually have an insurance policy in place as of the date of closing for the lender. The lender is not going to disperse any funds or send any papers out until they have this insurance policy in their hands. Schedule a closing, making sure that you schedule the closing ahead of time, so that way you're already on the books with the title company, the settlement company, so you don't have to worry about it later, and making sure all parties that's going to be there is in agreement of this date and time. Contingencies. Keep up with all the contingency dates on the contract. It's so important, because if you miss a date, then you have the listing agent and the seller not happy with you on the other end. So you got to make sure you keep up with all these contingency dates and don't miss them. The final walkthrough. Before closing, you're going to do a final walkthrough with your buyer. You're going to go through the property and make sure everything is still in the same condition as it was when they walked through the property in the beginning, whether it's the home inspection or whether it was in when they first walked through the property. It should be in the same condition. So no issues. Everything should be in working order. Plumbing, electrical, everything that's working order again. Close to deal, celebrate, time for a celebration. This is actually when you go to closing, buyer, seller, settlement attorney, and sometimes a lender may show up depending on, time. But all these people are at closing. This is when your buyer actually will be signing the papers. Advise your buyers they'll be signing papers at closing. The seller will be signing off on the deed to the buyer. All the funds will be dispersed at this point, and hopefully it's a nice, happy, smooth transaction for you, and there weren't any hiccups or bumps in the road. But yeah, this is the steps. These are the steps for the home buying process. If you have any questions, reach out to us, realestatecourse101.com. Pamela Dubois, always exceeding your expectations, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.